Namaste and welcome. This is Chantel from She Achieves Studio. Thank you for joining me. And we're actually inside of She Achieves Studio. That is the back of the studio, depending on where you're sitting, I guess. Today I'd like to invite space of being loving and present, and I call this loving presence. These two words come up a lot lately, and I feel being present is a challenge some days. It can be easier on some days. Some days it's completely non-existent, and some days it's all up in your face. Loving presence. And when we think about loving presence, like what do we think about? What comes up in your mind? What comes up in your thoughts, in your heart, in your body, in your space when you think about loving presence? And that's a question that only you can answer. What connects you to your loving presence? Do you know when you are loving and present? Can you answer those questions with curiosity versus judgment? Just notice. If you have no idea what loving presence is, great. That's awesome. Maybe keep listening. Maybe you're not interested in knowing what loving presence is. Awesome, that's where you are. Maybe this is all what you are about. Beautiful. It all works. It all works to the extent of what we are willing and aware, and putting that willingness and awareness into what direction, into what energy. It will work. But you are the only one. And you are the only one who can take you on that journey. All right. So, here we have some cards. And our card, Angel of Balance. So we were asking for loving presence, Angel of Balance. Let's see what comes up in our energy oracle cards today. Angel of Balance. Being centered and self-honoring in your choices. Exactly. This loving presence. I guess we're on the right path. Thank you. I love you. Namaste. Namaste. I love you so much. Okay. Thank you. This loving presence holds a picture of liquid light in front of the pyramids. So take a look at that. You can take a snapshot if you can. Reminding you that a strong destiny relies on a solid foundation of personal balance and emotional equanimity. Oh, one of my favorite words ever is equanimity. Although things may have been out of sync in the past, this card is telling you that a greater equilibrium is now coming to your life. Remain conscious about how you are balancing your goals and your physical and emotional energy as well. Whenever you feel yourself getting off center or losing focus, call upon this beautiful angel and bring her intention into your heart center. Your intuition will lead you into the right direction, and the angel will guide you to a peaceful and centered approach. Okay, so let's think about that. Reminding you that a strong destiny relies on a solid foundation of personal balance and emotional equanimity. So a solid foundation that can mean anything to you. It can mean a sense of being stable where you are, whatever that means to you. Personal balance. So balancing the worry and the love. Balancing the opposites. And believe it or not, we do need the opposites. We do need pain. We do need fear. Because out of the pain and the fear, for example, comes love and equanimity and trust. It is the yin and the yang. And sometimes we don't ever get the answers that maybe we're looking for. And you may have found that things might have been out of sync in the past. And when we recognize, when we are loving and present, I can't believe this card just said loving presence. Well, I can't believe it. I shouldn't say that. I'm very thankful and I acknowledge the wisdom. Shanti, Shanti, Om. That, okay, what am I trying to say? I am trying to say that when we feel off-centered and things are worrisome and parts of our lives are fearful, and just using those words as an example, that everything changes. Everything changes. We want to remember that there has never ever been guarantees in life. Yet, our mitote, our dream of the planet, has conditioned us over thousands and thousands and maybe millions of years that we are in control. And, you know, I really find that interesting because as much as we try and do our due diligence and we learn and we try and do all the right things, nothing is ever a guarantee. Like, nothing is ever completely objective unless it is, you know, an equation. And even if, let's say, I know that I am going to glue these two pages together. I'm going to glue this side and this side of this book, and I am going to glue it. We may think, we may hope or expect that these two pages are going to be glued together, yet the glue may be too dry. Maybe there's moisture on the paper and the glue does not adhere. Even when we bring ourselves into a sense of A plus B equals C, if I do this and I do everything right, then I should expect this outcome. Does anyone get what I'm saying? There is, in my eyes, I don't know, there's just the expectation. I think expectations are false. And when we live without an expectation, we bring ourselves into our present moment. And that's really hard. And it may seem or feel vulnerable. And I always feel that vulnerability is a strength. So conditioning yourself to switch, to kind of go on the other path and bring a sense of presence and love into your space, especially into the space where we tend to maybe judge ourselves or judge others, or, you know, I don't know, I have like so much to fucking say. I have so much to say. There you go, it's all said. Okay, so the moral of the story, right now is the universe doesn't lie. We just saw that for a fact, and you saw the cards being shuffled. We were talking about loving presence. The cards came up as loving presence. And if you are in fear, if you are expectant, can you invite loving presence into that same space? Can you observe with loving presence and loving curiosity? It may feel irregular. It may feel disconnected to be in a space of loving presence for you. And that in itself is willingness and awareness. Thank you for sharing your loving presence with mine. Allowing yourself to show up and to be present exactly where you are requires strength, vulnerability, forgiveness, understanding, compassion, softness, love, light, breath, smiles. We may not always get it right. We may not always get it wrong. What we do get is the gift of our loving presence. I say namaste.